Are you looking to start a balloon business, or do you currently have a balloon business and looking for some tips and advice? Well, in this video, I will be sharing things that I wish I knew before starting my balloon business. So before we get into it, my name is DeAndra. I am a luxury balloon designer and creative business coach, helping creatives like you build brands you love. I have been in the balloon industry for about 8 years now, and I've been in the events industry for 10 years. It's been so crazy. I started when I was 24 years old, and I started off as a event planner and event designer. And then I moved into floral design. And so I've been in the business for a long time. And I have encountered so many mistakes and also so many lessons by being in this industry. I do love the event industry. It has changed throughout the years. And yeah, so I wanted to give you guys some tips to help you on your journey to becoming a balloon designer, or if you're already in this industry, to help you evolve. So the first thing that I want to tap into is the challenge of inclusivity in the event industry. I want to say that it's gotten so much better now, but when I first started back in, 2016, I noticed that it's a predominantly white industry, and that's okay. Like, it is what it is. When I started out, I did notice that. And I noticed there wasn't a lot of people of color in the industry. We were here, but we weren't featured. We weren't on the Pinterest boards. We weren't featured in the magazines or on the Knot. And so thankfully now there's more inclusivity with being a Black vendor in this industry. When I started Party Shop Avenue, I did not put myself in the forefront that much. I showed who I was, but I always seemed to put my work first. I wanted my work to speak for itself before someone judged me for who I was behind the scenes. And by doing so, I leveled up my business so fast, and I was able to be in different spaces and different rooms just because of the work that I did and not based off of who I was. That was 8 years ago. And like I said, things are getting better, especially after COVID. A lot of things transitioned and changed. I actually got a feature in Qualitex magazine, and I had talked about this topic as well, but it was a challenge at first. And now I feel like it's so much better, and I feel like I'm so happy to be one of the top Black vendors in this industry. I want to encourage other Black creatives or people of color to stay persistent and maintain high standards. And don't be discouraged by the initial challenges, because you can get through them. It's just when you are a Black creative, I feel like in any field, you do have to put in 10,000%, and you have to show up strong. It's just what the standard is. And honestly, I don't take it in a bad light, because I feel like it just shows that we can excel too, and we can do amazing things. A quick story is when I started, I remember one of my first jobs, I was at this hotel in Beverly Hills. I won't mention any names. And I remember walking in, and the event coordinator was just like, "What are you doing? Like, what's your business?" And I was like, "I do balloon design." And she was like, "Balloons?" And I was like, "Yes, I do balloons, but I do them like I do luxury balloons." And she just didn't really understand. She's like, "I thought balloons were played out, but okay, whatever, you can go set up over there." And she rubbed me the wrong way, but I was like, all right, that's fine. I did my installation. It was phenomenal, like jaw-dropping. Everybody was like, "Wow, this is just so amazing." And then she came up to me after, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is stunning. I've never seen anything like this before. I have to get your cards and this, and the third." And I say that to say the fact that we have to show out before we get acknowledged, and that does suck. But for me, I'm a show out every time, and I want to encourage you to do the same. The next thing is to avoid unnecessary spending in the beginning. This is something I wish I knew. I thought I needed everything in the book. I wanted to buy everything. I went crazy, and there were a lot of things that I purchased that I did not need. And this is why in my last video I mentioned just buying your essentials, because budgeting is essential when it comes to starting and even just growing your business. You want to make sure that your business is profitable as well, so you don't want to just be spending money on everything. At the time too, I was making a lot of revenue. So it balanced out, but there are a lot of things that I wish I did not spend money on. For example, if you feel like you need a bunch of the standard balloon colors to get started, you don't. You can order your balloons by order. So if you have an event, you can order the balloons for that event. And usually as you start building an inventory and building stock, you will have balloons left over that you can use for another event, and so on and so forth. So just build in time. Don't feel like you have to buy everything all up front. The third thing is certifications aren't necessary for success. So when I first started, I thought I was going to have to get certified to be a balloon designer in order to start my balloon business. But I found out that I did not need to, because I was doing organic balloon decor, which really didn't need any training because everything is more so organic. It's not like classic balloon designs where you use sizers and other tools and structures that you need to learn how to do them the right way. So I was going to get certified, but I'm glad I didn't because it was so expensive. And while it can be beneficial, it's not necessary. Like, I don't think anyone who is doing balloons in this day and age has a certification. And also, I'm very much so self-taught. I taught myself how to do balloon garlands from scratch. And I feel like you guys are so blessed and so lucky to have all of these YouTube videos, TikToks, because I had none of this. I had to literally use my brain power and innovation to create the installations that I designed. So I feel like a lot of you guys can grow your business by being self-taught, but also there is education out there. I do have a beginner's course that I will link in the description. And in that course, it's just basics on how to get your business up and running, and also how to do balloon garlands and balloon walls. It's just really to help you expedite the process, and everything's in one place. The fourth thing is that your style will evolve over time. And I feel like a lot of new balloon designers stress about this. They think like you have to be perfect to get started. You don't. As you progress job by job, you're going to learn something new. I did have a background in event design, so that did help me a little bit, but I never worked with balloons before. So I had to learn how to maneuver the balloons and how to work with them, and also using them in outdoor atmospheres and even indoor. So your style though will evolve as you progress. And where I started is nowhere to where I am now. I feel like every time I went to a job, I would change something or do something a little different. And I found ways to expedite the process. And you will learn that too. You just have to keep pushing through and booking jobs so that you can get more experience under your belt, because it's all through experience. And I want you guys to avoid the copy and paste designs, which I see a lot now. A lot of people will send you an inspiration photo, for example, and you don't necessarily have to do exactly what's in the photo. That's just their inspiration. You can take it and run with it. One thing that I've been seeing, which I've unfollowed a lot of these Facebook groups, is people posting a photo of someone else's work and asking for the exact balloon recipe. And to me, yeah, that's cool and all, and that's the easy way out. But I feel like if you're a true designer, you're going to figure it out. You're going to play around with what you have, or try to create colors to resemble the look. That's what a true designer does. If you want to just go in there and say, how do you do this? What do I need to use? Honestly, you're just a copy and paste designer, and you can get away with that. But I feel like true designers actually take the time to figure out how to make it work. And also it comes out so much more authentic because it's unique to you and your style. But yeah, and not to say you can't use inspiration. I use inspiration all the time. People send me pictures of other people's work as well. But when I do see someone else's, I look at it, I'm like, great, I understand what you want, but I'm gonna put my own twist to it. And that's how you should maneuver. And number 5 is the power of networking and finding clients. When you're networking, I talk about this all the time. Networking is what's going to help you find those first clients. You're going to have to, first, I would say, start with the event planners, because those are your go-to people, because usually they're the ones planning the event and bringing in the vendors. So when you connect with the right event planners, you will start booking some great jobs. That's how it all worked for me. I also networked with other vendors in the industry. I was working with florists, bakers, DJs, you name it. And I just was getting myself out there and introducing myself. For example, I introduced myself to a florist at a bridal show, and we are still friends to this day. I was like 8 years ago, and she helped me get one of my breakthrough events where I was able to get flown out to New York to work with Ipsy. I did their creator day, and it was amazing. So just by me stepping out of my comfort zone and introducing myself to someone helped me tremendously and helped me get a big break in the industry. And just simply talk to people. You can't run a business from your home and just be in your home and hope that people will come to you. You have to get out there, find where the events are. And even if you're just at a networking event, it doesn't even have to do with balloons. You can have your cards handy, have your Instagram, everything set up so that you can share what you do, because people are always having some type of celebration and they need balloons. Why not be that person that they call? So get out there and network. Another thing is recognizing the high and the low seasons in the event industry. That's something that you will learn also depending on your demographic and where you are. There are high and low seasons. For example, I'll just break down my year. Usually January is pretty slow because everyone is coming off of that holiday high. Then it picks up a little bit in February because of Valentine's Day, and then it dies back down until about April. April picks back up, and it picks back up until I would say June, because you have prom season and graduation season all in that time frame. So you get really busy before the summertime. Summertime is a hit or miss. It's still busy, but it's not as busy because a lot of people go on vacation, so they're not having events. But you can get booked out for the summer. My summers usually are packed. Summers are decent, again, depending on where you are. And then it dies back down around September because everybody goes back to school, but you can get a lot of back to school events. Then it picks back up again, I would say in October for Halloween. Dies back down a little bit in November, and then picks back up after Black Friday all the way to the second or third week before Christmas. Then it dies back down for about a week or so, and you can probably get New Year's Eve parties. So it's an up and down flow throughout the years. So you have to also learn about saving when it's your down season, and you just have to figure it out. Go through a full year and see what your highs were, what your lows were. When you do your second year, you can do a comparison, like, okay, now I know when I should be saving more or when I should be doing my marketing, all of that. So learn about your high and low seasons. It will help you tremendously. The next thing is packages versus custom pricing. This all comes down to what you want to do within your business. Packages are easier because you set up a package, like for example, you'll have a backdrop with a garland and a decal and floral arrangement, and it's X amount of dollars. And you can have that on your site and people could just pick that and choose their colors, and then you can move on. Custom pricing is what I do, meaning they send me a picture, we talk about the design and all of that, and then we move into the process of the deposit, and then I can send you a mock-up. It's more of an experience, and I like it that way because I can customize my designs to the client. It's not just like a pick what it is and leave type vibe. It's really a experience with me. So you have to just figure out how you want to go about it. If you're not comfortable with your custom pricing yet and you feel like you may undercharge yourself or overcharge, then just start with packages and see how that feels. And then you can also do maybe even a hybrid where you have some packages and then you also can do custom pricing. When I first started in industry, it was $35 per foot, which I feel like it still is that same price, which is a pretty decent price. But for me now, I go upwards to $45 a foot. It just really depends on the design and what I have to do. So find a starting point and also look at your competitors to see what they are charging and see how they're pricing. Are they doing packages? If they're doing packages, maybe packages work. If they're doing custom pricing, you'll get the rift if you just really do your research. But I just personally think custom pricing is so much better because it's more of a bespoke experience. It's very creative, and if they want to add on something, I could charge them for the add-ons. You could do that with packages as well, but I just feel like when somebody sees a price and you start trying to add on things and change, it doesn't comprehend. So when it's more custom, you have a breakdown of what they're getting, it's an easier transition, especially into payment and processing the whole order. Another thing that I wish I knew too is about under promise and over deliver. This is something that I do now. I tell them, you know, exactly what they're going to get, but also manage their expectations. You want to do this because with balloons, there are so many things that can go left. You just never know if it's windy, if it's too hot. There are elements of surprise in this industry. So you have to make sure you're managing their expectations, especially when you are sending them the quotes and the pricing, and make sure you have these things in your contract. I have an act of God clause, and this clause just talks about if there's any weather conditions that I have no control over, it's not my fault. And you want to lay that out because sometimes people have these like delusional expectations and they're expecting you to do something when it's clearly like 100-mile winds winds. I've had that experience where my whole installation flew away, and I could not believe that a 10-foot garland just flew up in the sky and just left. And I told the client it was too windy, but they didn't listen. So things like that, you have to learn how to communicate to with your clients. But I always say that I'm going to do my best work, and usually it comes out great. But you just want to build that trust with your clients and then just show up, execute, and if something doesn't go as planned, make sure that you learn how to communicate with them and tell them why something went wrong or how you will be able to fix the problem. And the last thing is to embrace community over competition. And I started to do when more balloon vendors came in the industry. When I first started, there were only a couple of us, and we still embrace that community aspect. But now I have a list of balloon vendors that I use if I'm not available for work, and they do the same for me. We refer each other business, and I feel like that's a great way to get clients in the door as well, by just using your community. If you have another balloon vendor that's in the same city or not too far from you and you do similar work, refer them business and they can refer you business. Don't try to be so selfish and greedy and try to take on everything when you know you don't have the capacity to do so, because that's when you start doing terrible work and low quality work. So when you can share the wealth, I feel like it all comes back to you in tenfold, and I do it all the time. I have actually an email set up that just as soon as I see that I'm not available, I send them that email, and it has all of their names and Instagrams and details so that they can contact whoever they like to move forward with next. So I embrace that a lot, and I feel like if you do that, it will help you so much and it will help you grow and expand. And then if you ever come across a situation where you need something or you don't know how to do something, you have a community to call and you can reach out and just ask for help. And usually all my girls, if I need help with something or if they need something, we help each other. So I just want to encourage you to refer your clients out if you're overbooked, because it will come back to you. Trust me, it will come back to you. But yeah, these are some of the lessons that I have learned, and you know, there's so many things to learn in this industry. It's a great industry to be in, and you can make it a profitable business. You just have to really put the work in and be dedicated to what you do and really love what you do. But I want to encourage you guys to leave a comment below. If you have a balloon business or you want to start a balloon business, let me know where you're located. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you're looking to start your balloon business, I would check out this video on how to start your balloon business. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.